I made $1 million from video editing before the age of 30. Not because of talent, but because I discovered a simple editing system that helped me get booked on high-end projects again and again. So in this video, I'm going to show you everything I learned over 20 years so you can make 7 figures from editing faster than I did. Now let me show you the first mistake you need to stop making if you want to land high-end jobs. Lesson 1. At the start of my editing journey, I practiced obsessively for years, but I still wasn't able to land the types of jobs I wanted. I was underpaid and the projects were creatively soul-crushing, so I started to question whether it was really possible to make a good living from editing. So I did something scary. I asked a pro editor who was working at the level I wanted to work at for advice, and he asked me what I was doing to improve. So I told him about how I was upgrading my editing system, I was getting faster at my software, and I was even learning to color grade so I could charge more. I'm paraphrasing here, but he quickly said something like, "That's why you're stuck. Editing is not equipment, it's not software, and it's definitely not color grading. Editing at the highest level is emotional storytelling." Here's the thing, editing is hard, and it's easy to get stuck. But if you're putting in the hours and not making progress in your career, it might be time to focus your energy on improving your emotional storytelling. When done right, your edits will start to stand out, and you'll be able to use them on your showreel to book the high-end editing jobs that you deserve. And if you want to work on your emotional storytelling directly with me while editing high-end projects for your showreel, click the link in the description to check out my editing program. And now I'm going to show you the first step to bring emotion into your edits so you can start landing higher-end jobs. Lesson 2. Once I decided to spend all of my time improving my emotional storytelling, I still had a big problem. I didn't really understand what emotional storytelling was, and I definitely didn't know how to practice it. So through years of trial and error, I discovered a simple, repeatable system that finally made my edits stand out. First, before you even touch your editing timeline, think about the story of what you're editing. Then identify at least 2 to 3 places where you really want the audience to feel something. And for each of those, pick a target emotion and be as specific as possible. Use words like content, tense, anxious, calm, distressed, and bonus points if you write them down. And these 2 things, when practiced consistently over time, will level up your editing fast and help you land the projects you want. Like my student Doug, who felt stuck editing creatively unfulfilling projects, and now he's working on a feature documentary aiming for Netflix distribution after putting these steps into practice in my program. Now I'm going to show you how to evoke those target emotions so your edits finally stand out and help get you hired on the jobs you want. Lesson 3. Earlier, when you identified those 2 to 3 places you wanted your audience to feel something, you probably picked moments of your edit where important things were happening. These are called story beats. And placing those story beats at the right time in your edit can be one of the best ways to hit those target emotions. Most Hollywood movies follow something called 3-act story structure. And in very simple terms, big things in the story tend to happen around 25%, 50%, and 75% of the way through narrative feature films. So when you're working through an edit, keep these invisible markers in mind and assign your target emotions to each. This simple guide will help you make sure that things are happening in your story consistently over time. Great stories, after all, are about change. So whether you're working on a new edit or one you've already started, see if things in your story are changing around these markers. When done right, your audience will stay engaged, your edits will start to stand out, and it will lead to you booking the types of jobs you really want. And if you want to go deeper on story structure while working with me on high-end projects for your showreel, click the link in the description to check out my editing program. Now I'm going to share one of the most powerful techniques to evoke emotion and move your audience. Lesson 4. You have an incredible amount of power as an editor. You control what the audience sees and how long they see it. The second part of this, how long they see it, is controlled by rhythm, which is the pattern of shot lengths in your edit. There have actually been scientific studies showing that different patterns of visuals can bring out different emotions in the brain. So maybe you're targeting a sense of calm in the audience, while a steady, slow pace of cuts would help bring that out. Or maybe you want the audience to feel anxiety, while fast, unpredictable shot duration could help your audience get into that state. So for each section of your edit, choose shot durations that bring out the emotion you want to target. And for sections you really want to jump off the screen, consider going from one rhythm to a very different rhythm in an instant. This is called rhythmic contrast. Maybe you have a slow pace you've developed, and in an instant, you start cutting with a really fast pace. It also works in reverse. Maybe you've established a really fast pace of editing, and immediately you cut to a very slow pace. Now I'm going to show you how to bring your visuals to life so your editing projects pop and lead to bigger and better jobs. Lesson 5. So far we've talked all about visuals, but visuals are only half the edit. The other half is sound. Sound is so powerful that editors must also be sound designers, because you won't be able to tell if your edit is working if it doesn't have all the sounds necessary to tell the story and evoke emotion. But it doesn't have to be complicated. First, start with background ambiances. What world do you want to create with sound? Then edit your dialogue or voiceover. Make sure the levels are nice and clear, there are no dropouts in tone, and no audio pops or clicks, which can usually be taken out with small crossfades. Then add the specific sounds you need to tell the story. Then add in music that brings out those target emotions. And it's helpful to save music for the last step to make sure your ambiances, dialogue, and specific sound effects are all targeting those emotions on their own without a soundtrack overpowering them. Now I'm going to show you how to easily add a high-end polish to any edit so your work will start attracting those higher-end jobs. Lesson 6. It's time for you to look at your edit at the most basic level, shot by shot. Where you decide to cut in and out of shots has a big impact on the flow of your edit. And here's a simple question that will help you add that high-end polish. What is the action of the shot? An action can be as small as a footstep, as big as a man crashing to the ground, or even a camera move itself. So choose an action in the frame and cut in right as that action begins. And for your out point, pick another action that you allow to end. And this might be a different action than the action you cut in on, depending on the length of your shot. Over the course of a shot, there will be many actions to choose from, so pick actions for the in and out point that align best with the shot length and rhythm you've established in your edit. The overall effect of this step will give your edit a broadcast level polish. And now I'm going to share the secret that will supercharge all of these lessons you've learned so far to ensure this process leads to booking higher end jobs. Lesson 7. One of the most difficult parts of any creative job is getting feedback, and editing is no different. But getting consistent feedback on your work is really the only true shortcut to leveling up your editing fast and landing those better jobs. And here's a simple, pain-free process you can use to start building that habit. First, find a person who you believe will give you good feedback. Now, the best feedback will come from an editor who's working at a level you aspire to, like my mentor did for me. But if you don't have a relationship like that yet, choose a trusted coworker or friend whose opinion you really trust and someone who will be honest with you. Then send them a link to your edit and simply ask them if they'd review it and let you know if there were any points in your edit where they felt bored or confused. You can also ask them what emotions they feel at different points in your edit, but a lot of times people have trouble putting that into words. But almost everyone can sense when they're bored or confused, and those are going to be your two biggest roadblocks in hitting your target emotions, so that can actually be some of the most helpful feedback. Then take their feedback and go back and revise and repeat this process until you and your audience agree that your edit is working. And if you want to work on your emotional storytelling directly with me while editing high-end projects for your showreel, click the link in the description to check out my editing program. Now you know the 7 lessons that helped me make $1 million from video editing before the age of 30. But applying these lessons won't help you if you don't know the other places your editing income is blocked. So watch this video next to find out what those are and how to fix them. Happy editing.